Okay, we are live and we have to come live because the date of the upcoming Women's ODI World Cup has been announced. And I can remember easily that during that Tri Nation series of India, Sri Lanka, and South Africa, lots of questions used to come in our live sessions that when the date will be announced and all. And finally, dates are here. The fixtures, for every team is yet to be announced. But at least we now have been told that when the tournament will be organized, and ICC have announced it, and according to that, the tournament will start from 30 September, to 2nd November. Okay, and it will be organized across 5 venues in India and one venue in Sri Lanka. And I think you all guys know now that why that venue of Sri Lanka has been chosen, because obviously I think
No, I think
we
five
all.
venues total. India four venues and Sri Lanka one venue, Colombo.
Okay, okay. 5 venues across India and Sri Lanka. Okay, yes, 4 venues in India and one venue in Sri Lanka. And those 4 venues are Chinnaswamy Stadium, Bengaluru, ACS Stadium in Guwahati, Holkar Stadium in Indore, and ACA VDCA Stadium in Visakhapatnam. And for Sri Lanka, it is the R. Premadasa Stadium, a very iconic stadium. And as we all know
Correct.
that why this Sri Lanka, that venue has been chosen, obviously for Pakistan. Pakistan cannot come to India, and because of that hybrid model that was mutually agreed before the Champions Trophy between India and Pakistan Cricket Board, that I think until the 2027 in all ICC tournaments they will at least play in the neutral venue. So that is why that venue has been selected. So every Pakistan match will be played there only, and the
That is the
final will.
reason.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that is the reason the semi-final, which is on the first semi-final, which is on the 29th of October, uh,
yes,
two venues have been announced for that. Guwahati
yes.
and Colombo both will be
Hmm.
prepared for the semi-finals, because if Pakistan
And
qualifies
Pakistan.
to the semis, then it will
Hmm.
be in Colombo, otherwise it will be in Guwahati. And the second semi-final will be on the 30th of October in Bangalore. And the final, again, for the final, there are two venues, Bengaluru and Colombo, on the 2nd of November.
Yes, absolutely. So if Pakistan qualify for the final, then the Sri Lanka venue will come into play. Otherwise, the final is going to be in the home of RCB. Now
It
the
will be in the
RCB.
home of RCB.
Yeah, it will be in the home of RCB. We are kind of confident about that, but you never know. But Tushari, I think it's
True.
quite surprising to see the name of the venues suddenly, because all the names that reportedly was going through on social media few months back. I think people were not that kind of happy, because we are seeing lots of comments on social media that if you are giving so much importance to women's cricket in last few months, few years, that BCCI have been giving, and we have talked with lots of cricketers recently. Even they have claimed that yes, BCCI have been working very good, focusing on women's cricket. And you personally have told several times to me personally, and in different shows also, that women's cricket in India, have been improving. So when those reported venues came, me, you, and everyone others seems to be a little bit disappointed. But right now, seeing Chinnaswamy and other stadium, are you kind of happy with the venues that have been selected finally?
Um, I think including Chinnaswamy has obviously improved the whole equation. The final in Chinnaswamy actually makes sense. But I would have liked to see, I would have wanted to see a few more prominent venues. For example, I don't know why would you not include Lucknow. A lot of the women's games are played in the Ekana Stadium. So you have crowd who has already visited the Ekana Stadium. And in a RCP match, we had actually seen that the stadium was almost half full. So
Yes.
that so obviously they want to watch women's cricket. It's not like they don't
Mm.
want to watch women's cricket. So I would have wanted to, I would have liked if there were one or two more prominent cities. I would have loved to see a few games at the Eden Gardens. I mean, I have been saying this to you. I have been, in fact, when I met Snehashish Ganguly, the CAB president, also, I said the same thing to him. Please try and bid, and please try and talk, to BCCI to get some women's international games here. Uh, but I would say, from what had been announced, this is still much better That and the final at Chinnaswamy makes me very very happy. You know, the final at Visakhapatnam or Guwahati um, or you know, for that example, say Indore, would not really justify somebody playing a World Cup final,
Absolutely.
whoever it is. You know, when you are playing the World Cup final in England, you want it to be Lords. When you are playing it in
Absolutely.
Australia, you want it to be MCG. And when you're playing it here, I'm glad it's Chinnaswamy, because ultimately, if you see women's cricket, the amount of fans of women's cricket that Bangalore has given to you, they kind of deserve to have the final. But again, you know, I would have loved to have the final in Eden Gardens. And if the final was at Eden Gardens, definitely would have been there. As far as Bangalore is concerned, I hope I'm there. But yeah, had it been Eden Gardens, then I would have definitely been here. But I would have
Absolutely.
also liked to see something like, you know, maybe Hyderabad. Considering it's Hyderabad has given you a lot of women cricketers, you know. So you could have gotten a Hyderabad. I would have loved to see a few games in Mumbai. Where
Yes.
wasn't Mumbai like the base of women's cricket at one point, you
Even
know?
even if not Wankhede, at least Brabourne Stadium,
Brabant
you could have
Stadium,
used.
yeah,
Yes.
at least in the Brabant Stadium. But again, I mean, somehow I feel that it is always glass half full instead of
Yeah.
seeing it as glass half empty.
Yeah.
So I would say, since though I must tell you, I was pretty excited to see how things went in Mullanpur. I was not excited as the location per se, sorry, as the location per se, but I was excited about the pitch and how things would have been in Mullanpur. So these
Yes.
these venues, I would still take these venues.
Absolutely. And me and Trishadi were talking about this Mullanpur thing because lots of our reporters recently visited there in a new stadium, new facilities and all, because of the IPL playoffs and all. And they were so much, full of praise about the facilities. And so me and Trishadi were a little bit thinking that, okay, if we manage to go there, at least we can also see that thing. But right now, but after this announcement, there is no Mullanpur. But I absolutely, but I think, Trishadi, do you agree that the WPL play a huge part, considering the Chinnaswamy Stadium, seeing the WPL craze and all,
Yeah,
RCB?
absolutely.
Mm.
I completely agree that, of
Mm.
course, WPL must have played a very, very, big part, because Chinnaswamy generally is almost sold out for
Yes.
WPL and in all matches. And considering the fact that this time around RCB lost all matches in Chinnaswamy, even
Mm.
then, even their last match that you remember, you and I were doing the live, and we were like, even then the crowd was there.
Yes.
So,
Even
you know, it obviously.
Snehana mentioned that in our interview also. Mm.
Correct, correct. And that's exactly why, I think it's justice that
Mm.
Chinnaswamy Stadium gets the final. It absolutely deserves it. Would love to be there, you know, packed Chinnaswamy Stadium, and that will be only possible if India is in the final.
India.
That is
I
only
can
thing.
imagine right now. I can imagine right now if India is there in the
Smriti
final, India
Mandana
playing that
coming up
final.
to bat in the final with
Smriti
20 runs
Mandana, you
beaming
have a
RCB
Richa
as.
Ghosh, you have a Sneharana in that team. Oof, that the crowd will be.
Yeah,
I am.
I won't be surprised if, you know, people are screaming RCB RCB instead of India India when these guys
Yes,
cross.
yes. High chance, high chance. Even if not a India match, in different matches also, if it is happening in Chinnaswamy, there
Yeah,
will some RCB chance.
somebody at some point will come up with RCB chants. And also, you know, if Australia is playing, who do you think, will be cheered for? RCB, Ellis Perry.
Absolute. Oh yes, in Australia, Alice Perry. Oh my God, that's a big advantage for Australia now. That
Yeah.
Alice Perry, if they are in the final, that Alice Perry playing in Bengaluru.
And Perry has huge, something like Warner had done in
Yes, yes,
being in Sunrisers Hyderabad.
yes.
I think he earned a lot of respect and love of Indian cricket fans, and Perry has done the same, playing for Bangalore. And you will see a lot of people will be coming and cheering for her. I won't be surprised if you see a few banners even when she's playing against us. You know.
Yes. Okay, for you guys, I just want to mention the 8 teams that are playing the World Cup this time around. Obviously, India, the host, Australia, England, South Africa, New Zealand, Sri Lanka. And obviously, from the qualifiers, two teams have been qualified. That is Pakistan and Bangladesh. Disappointingly, that West Indies are not there. That we all know that they failed to qualify from the qualifiers. Okay, we have a comment, Trishadi, for you. Trishadi, Priyanshu saying, Trishadi, today's schedule is announced. अपना गट फील बताओ कौन जीतेगा मुझे पता है आंसर त्रिशति आप बोलो
England.
reason
I just I feel
gut
Charlotte
feeling
Edwards is
gut feeling का reason
yeah.
नहीं होता just gut feeling
No, I do think, and I had told you this. You remember when Nat Brandt was announced the captain? I had told you one thing. It is the Edward Brandt ruling phase, and I do believe that it is the ruling phase, which is where, and you have seen Snehashish that 4 matches that Edwards has taken up as coach
yes
and
yes
Brandt as the captain, and you can already see the change in body language. This is the same, and I cannot repeat this or harp this uh, enough, that this is almost the same team that went for Ashes. In fact, has a few more younger players than there were in the Ashes team, and the
Mm,
whole team looks a lot more confident, heads high. One might argue that they're playing against West Indies, but then the body language is the whole point. Who you're playing against is secondary at times, and that is where I don't know, just a gut feel that England is winning. But also, in the T20 World Cup, my gut feeling had said Sri Lanka is winning. They didn't. New Zealand won. So maybe Bangladesh or Pakistan is winning.
yes absolutely but we have to see that when the two groups will come up because two groups will be there and it will
Yeah,
be interesting to see whether India and Pakistan will be in the same group or not
of course
after
not.
all.
Of course not.
Of course not.
Of course
Yes,
not.
there. I think there are high chance that they will be not.
Yeah.
But do you think that Pakistan will be happy to play in Sri Lanka? Considering the conditions and all.
Yeah, similar conditions. Absolutely. I think both are similar conditions, India and Sri Lanka. But Sri Lanka will assist their slower bowlers a bit more. Sri Lankan pitches. Indian pitches probably would be more towards flat batting pitches.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, kind of feel that. But Sri Lankan pitches will be slow. They will be, gripping and turning, which could very well mean that Pakistan could be pretty dangerous to face.
Yes, absolutely. And Trishadi, seeing all the venues, obviously we'll go through the stats and all about the venues and all, in coming shows. But right now, after seeing the names, do you think the spinners will have a huge role, or maybe it will be difficult because considering Bangalore and other pitches, I think it will be more, batting friendly. Do you think like that?
Yeah, I feel it will be batting friendly. Uh,
Hmm.
had Ekana been there, maybe I would have still
Hmm.
expected a bit of turn and all. But even Ekana now actually isn't a
Yes.
typical turning wicket. Having said that, in India, if it's a batting wicket, then I do think that the variations that spinners can get, will really come into play. Uh, Someone like Sneh Rana could be very, very significant. In form, Deepthi Sharma will be significant. So yeah, I think it is still about spinners. Because ultimately it's subcontinent conditions, right?
Absolutely.
Had it been
And
something
now,
like Dharamshala pitch or something, I would have said Pacers.
hmm,
Even
yes.
Even if it was Eden, I would have said probably we can look at Pacers. But rest of the grounds, I would still go for spinners.
Yes, absolutely. But I think now knowing the grounds that you are going to play in the World Cup, I think all the teams can, prepare their, prepare themselves according to that, according to the conditions that which kind of players we all need, going forward to the
Right.
World Cup. And I think now that series, that upcoming home series against Australia for India, right before the World Cup, now I think it's a huge, huge series. I think that series will, tell that where India
Where
stands
does
ahead of the
India stand?
World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a huge, huge series. Okay, let's check if there any comment or not. Okay, Lorenzo Dickman saying if India wins World Cup, it will be big upset.
I think Lorenzo will be upset. That's what Lorenzo is trying to say.
Yes, yes. That must be the only reason.
Yeah.
Okay, Suman Awasthi, will Pakistani's team get visa? They will
To
travel
Sri
to Sri
Lanka.
Lanka. Yeah.
हाँ, तो श्रीलंका
Uh,
के साथ क्या है?
there is nothing to do with India, so the
Yeah,
problem should not be there. Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Next comment. Which Okay, Lorenzo, there's a reason why Lorenzo is saying that thing because no class performance from India, maybe except aging, out of form Herman. Out of form Herman, aging.
Aging is who? That
I
everybody is
think,
aging. Yeah, it's a natural human process. People age. Like, how will they stop aging? I don't think that there aren't clutch performers. I think Jemima is a clutch performer. Richa is a clutch performer. With the ball, somebody like a Sneha Rana, Deepti Sharma, even Arundhati, with in Indian conditions, I think will be effective.
yes.
Would love to see if Pooja Vastrakar can come back. Have heard Shriyanka has been bowling, but have also had the
Shriyanka in
opportunity.
Bengaluru.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not as bad as it looks. I think.
By the way, the camp is now happening in Bengaluru. So now
Yeah.
with this news, I think all the players will be very much happy.
Yeah, the center of excellence is there, so the
Yes.
women cricketers spend a lot of time there. But what I would love for maybe BCCI to facilitate, if these camps can be attended by a few by journalists, maybe a few
Yes.
sessions or something. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Someone was saying, will Pakistan team get visa or would they ask for hybrid model? Will India play against
It is
Pakistan?
hybrid model. It is
Yes,
hybrid model.
it is a hybrid model. That is why the Premadaza Stadium has come into play. That is why they are playing in Sri Lanka. And what me and Trishadi believe that maybe in the group stage you are not going to see India Pakistan in the same group. Going forward, who knows? If India,
The
gets
semi-final,
Pakistan,
final, how can you
yes.
control?
Then I think India have to go to Sri Lanka. Then India have to go to Sri Lanka to play Pakistan. Yes. Lorenzo saying we know India will be in the knockouts, but when the pressure will be higher, will matter the most, they will fail to perform. Hopefully
You're
not
writing
this.
the script. Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Trishadi, you take this. You want to say thoughts on Gukesh beating Magnus? A different one, but a
Brilliant,
huge one.
brilliant. I think, and the best part, Suman, was the way Gukesh was absolutely calm. Because when the Norway chess championship had started, Magnus had beaten Gukesh quite easily, and then the whole mind game where Magnus had said, "Oh, you know what? It was a boring game. It wasn't even interesting enough." And for Gukesh to not say anything but actually give it back
Mm.
by getting that win, I think was brilliant. Also, what I liked was, and you know how much that win meant to Gukesh, because when he got up, he was kind of he, he looked he looked satisfied, but of course he does not express happiness or sadness or anything. It's a completely
Yes, yes. That viral
yes,
clip. That the clip is
yes.
everywhere on social media, and I was just shocked to see Magnus' reaction after the loss. He just
Oh, Magnus
boom,
always reacts like a child after losing. Always.
and Gukesh is like, oh, I have done it. I have done it.
Yeah,
Okay, I have done it. It's
yeah,
just
and he
like.
goes like,
Okay, Lorenzo, if weather stays good, not overcast, Australia will make 350 plus in final. Very small ground and flat pitch.
yeah,
That's a very
Australia also
good.
will be a big force this time, especially considering the fact that in the T20 World Cup, Australia
Mm,
had actually not even qualified for the semis. So and since
more
then,
hungry.
Australia has been angry, and they want to win everything. So I think it will be pretty interesting to see how they approach the World Cup. They have been very aggressive, but at times in such tournaments, maybe you never know what happens. I think after once you're there for the semi-finals, the tournament suddenly becomes very very different. One single move, one single ball, one single shot, and the whole scenario can change. So it will be interesting. Though I'm not surprised that, yeah, I would say Australia England final. Sad, but yeah,
Yes. I think most of the women's cricketer fan will say the same.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. Nikita
But I have a
Konam.
very funny semi-final prediction. If India Sri Lanka are not in the same group, then I do think. I mean, I do think one of the sides for semi-finals this time would be Sri Lanka.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Nikita saying, if India wins the World Cup, what are you feeling when Herman lifts World Cup? Happy, proud?
I will be crying. I will be crying.
Yeah.
I'm telling you from the beginning, Nikita. I was
Yes.
a women's cricketer. So women's cricket in my world is very very different than most people understand. So I would be extremely. Uh, so I had cried for half an hour to 45 minutes when we lost the 2017 World Cup. I had actually gone to my room and cried because I thought it was a big chance of us winning the World Cup. So I think while Boryada, Sneha Sheesh, everyone will push me to do a show, and I'm sure I'll be coming and doing a show because that's part of our job. But yeah, you can see some tears in the show as well. You can expect that
Yes.
on the show because I'm
Yes. And
extremely.
and you guys can accept some of that tomorrow also if something big happens. Because tomorrow is a very big
Yes,
day for Trishadi.
yes,
It's a very,
yes,
very big day in 18 years, and everyone
yes,
is expecting something big to happen. So, which
yes.
franchising that remains to be seen, but it's a big day, definitely. Hmm. Okay. Okay, someone saying, okay, sorry, I forgot about hybrid model for this World Cup and Pakistan not making
No
to
worries.
semi or final. Okay. Yeah, Pakistan might struggle to make, yes, that you can say. The way Sumana was saying, that is all done. Pakistan not making. Okay, Lorenzo saying, uh, Nikita, if India wins World Cup, Harman will be good and will be awarded major national awards and cricket in India will explode. Okay,
Goat
okay.
is a huge term. Let's not use that. But yes, the rest of the
Oh,
things I absolutely agree.
Now Goat has lost his
Yeah, actually,
relevance.
goat has lost the
Yeah,
actual essence of the term because
yes,
one good innings or one good tournament and one becomes a
yes.
goat.
Everyone is Goat.
Yeah, everyone is goat. You have to find another animal.
Uh, okay, someone saying that is how Magnus reacts all the time. I thought he messed up and lost, so he reacted that way. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's how Magnus reacts like a child
Nah,
every time.
okay.
Suman is saying sorry, don't mean to use that pig emoji. It's fine, Suman.
Okay, Sumana was saying if RCB losses, Trisha and Gargi ka whole week getting
We will
bashed.
ignore
No, no,
that
shoot
his
bolo.
comment. Yeah, we will
Shoot
ignore
bolo,
his comment.
shoot bolo. ऐसा ऐसा कुछ वर्ड यूज ही नहीं करना है अभी तक कल तक.
हाँ, what
जो भी
rubbish.
जो भी बोल रहा है कल रात 11 11:30 के बजे बोल. तब तक नो ऐसा नेगेटिव वर्ड. Okay. Okay, all the comments are done. Okay, so I think Tushadi, we can wrap it up. But the main major update is that the schedule is out. The tournament is going to happen from 30 September to its
2nd November.
second November. Yes, second November, and five venues have been selected: four in India and one in Sri Lanka. The Premadasa Stadium in Sri Lanka, and obviously among the four venues, the final will be will take place in Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru, and the first match of the tournament that will India will play that will also begin at Chinnaswamy only. So that's the update as of now from the upcoming Women's ODI World Cup. Hopefully, in coming days, we can get to know the groups of all the eight teams, which four teams will be in each group, and obviously the
Hmm.
date of each teams when they are going to play against whom. So that is it. Thank
Right.
you, Tushari. Thank you everyone for coming and joining in with so much comments. Hopefully, we'll come back soon, and obviously we'll come back because the with the
England,
second
West Indies.
ODI. Yes, second
Yes.
ODI between
And
West
another,
Indies and
I
England.
think South Africa, West Indies is also coming up, right?
Yes, after this tour, obviously, South Africa will go to West Indies
Right.
for the series. So that will also cover. So that is for now. Thank you for joining. Let's meet in another video. Thank you.